And Rajan Brahmesab, I request you to start recording from
Yeah,
your end too, as I made you a co-host. So even in case my network fails, the show goes on and recording is on.
yeah,
So thank you all, and it's very nice to see all of you on February 14th. That is the Valentine's Day. And I would say on a spiritual basis that it's also the union between the soul and the supreme soul, right? The Atma and Paramatma, or whoever the higher self you believe in, that light, the higher energy source. It's being said that, people might be, there might be limitation in people helping you, but the almighty source, that light, that higher source is so powerful that he can reach you at any moment. And even if you are almost in, just like going to be hanged right now, so even there he can come and get you out. So always it's better to have almost the first union with the the higher source, the supreme source, and just meditate for a few minutes, which will be very good for your mind. Okay, because I am a mindset trainer, so I would always request you to start your day with meditation, maybe 5 or 6 minutes. So here in Mindset Club for Success, it's an open platform for everybody. I would say anybody, even a person on the streets, he can come here and he can speak on this platform, because everybody has a story, right? A person might be known for certain skills, but the story, I think it is individual. People might have listened to even to me, or maybe Dr. Shivakumar sir, or anybody over here, all the trainers. But the thing is, people might not be knowing about your own story, the toughness, the bad moments which were there in your life, and how you came up to be successful. So that one story can change every person's life. So this is a platform which anybody can come here and speak. There are a few things which is required, which I'll be sending you through email. You can reach me out on my phone number, or also on my email address, that is mindsetcoach2020 @gmail.com. So this happens every Sunday at 5:30 p.m., irrespective of anything, and it is totally virtual, and it happens for 1.5 hours. So 1 hour would be given to you. You can go ahead and speak about your topic. In case if you find 1 hour is too big, you can shorten it to say 30 minutes or 20 minutes, and the balance time you can start about your own the mastery, whatever you have mastered in your life. You can speak about that. And we will also be doing a recording, so within 24 hours I'll go ahead and upload this video on our YouTube channel, which is called Pradeep Shetty Mindset Coach channel. I'll also be sending you a link for this, so you can go ahead and anytime view it and give your thoughts on that. So that's all about Mindset Coach. So let's coming to here today for the occasion. Today we have a great personality who is from pharma industry. He has almost 23 years experience in pharma, and he has rised from a sales representative, what you call the medical representative, going to doctors, selling medicines, and he had reached to a level of a sales manager in a very big pharma industry, one of the best in the world, one of the best. And then later on, after 23 years, he switched on to become a sales trainer into the training industry. So right now he's a trainer, and he has a team who works under him. Apart from that, I met first time Dr. I mean to say Rajan Brahme. I always call him as doctor because our Dr. Rajan is also doctor. So I always remember him by doctor. Both come together to me. So Rajan sir is very humble, very down to earth personality. When you meet him, there is nothing ego or something like that. He's always humble and cool, and always coachable, just like the molding power what you can see in Dr. Shivakumar, exactly the same thing. Because the more the person becomes goes higher, just like when a tree starts bearing a lot of fruit, it starts to bow down, right? And it starts giving not only shelter but also food to that person, whoever try to get that thing. So not taking much of your time between Rajan sir and the audience, I would like to Rajan sir to come up and share his real life experiences, and give us at least 3 or 4 things which we will take away today, and which will change our life forever, so that we'll always remember you. And I'm so thankful that when I approached Rajan sir, he immediately said, "Yes, Pradeep, why not? Let's go ahead and I will speak." I really do not know what to speak, but yes, he said, I have a couple of things which will definitely help all of us. So it's all yours, Rajan sir. Thank you very much. Let's all put our hand and welcome Rajan Brahme sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
All the best.
All the
Thank
best,
you.
sir. And one more thing is that let's not stop his flow. So, in case if it's very important, you may stop him. Otherwise, last 15 minutes, that is 6:45 to 7, we have a question and answer session. So we can, ask him the questions there. But it's really important. You may stop him. Thank you.
So thank you very much, Pradeep sir, for creating this platform. And 23 years, as I told you, that I was in sales, and then I moved into training. So for me also, it's like an immature person, acting on a stage. So IITD, which has taught me a lot of things, and you people, all the colleagues, they were veteran in their own areas, own segments, and a lot of things I learned from you. And today I'm here to present this, my life experiences and the learnings what I got out of it. So before that, I would like to sincerely thank to all of you, to my parents, my family, friends, my friends, teachers, managers, IITians, my IITian professors, and all those who enriched me with new learnings in my life, and that has really made me to succeed in various situations. So it is always said that gratitude is very important because it helps you to fall in love with the life you already have. So unless you love yourself, it is very difficult for you to connect with others, love them, and that passion and compassion, it's not possible. So gratitude is something which is very, very important. And that has really helped me a lot in terms of bringing me over here at this particular stage and travel my journey throughout. So first of all, I would like to, wish everybody happy Valentine's Day. And yes, and very importantly, Valentine was a person, or rather a saint. Uh, he sacrificed his life while bringing a man and a woman together and marry them secretly. Because in 3rd century, the Claudius king had actually instructed the entire all citizens in Rome that I don't want men to get married, because if men marries, they are not going to be good soldiers. So Valentine was caught. Ultimately, he was put into prison, but in prison also he served all the prisoners, whoever was with him. Next thing what he did was, the prisoner's daughter, she was blind. So he served her, he treated her, and finally she got her vision. But ultimately, the day came when he was executed. After 2 centuries, when the entire Rome became Catholic Christian, they started actually celebrating Valentine's Day. So 200 years after this event or incidents, the people started actually celebrating this day. And this day, actually, it is not just for the lovers, but it is for each and everybody. It is basically a passion and compassion towards humanity. Each and every, even why humans, it is animals also. Whoever living beings are there in the world, probably I think Valentine's Day is for everybody. Just love and show your affection, show your compassion. So every life in the reflection of nature, that is all of us know, and it is being evolved in this nature. Every individual, every life, the superpower actually governing this universe loves everybody without any discrimination. So if we really want to be blissful journey in this life, it is important that we should follow the law of nature. And the law of nature is very simple: live and let live with love and compassion. I think if we do that, probably success and all the materialistic aspect, okay, that's fine. But the peace of mind or the bliss which you are going to get is out of this only. It's a path of spirituality which we are living even in the materialistic world. So thank you once again to all the participants for investing your valuable time and attending the session on the eve of Valentine's Day. And once again, thanks for your passion and compassion. My suggestions, please keep your microphones on mute. If you want to say something, you can press the mute space bar, which will temporarily open the microphone and you can communicate. If any corrections, suggestions, additions, questions, or concerns are there, we'll discuss after the session. Your views and feedback is most important after the session because I am learning to be a good trainer. So thanks a lot. So I will also, one thing I want to say that every individual is in this story is a unique identity. The life of every individual is his own property. Every individual's life story has a copyright. So hence I'll not name the person, name the people, because I don't intend to violate the copyright. This copyright is not by law, but by nature. Every individual has its own private space and we have to respect. Although they are related with me, they are linked with me in my story, doesn't mean that I should expose them. I believe to reflect and introspect the incidences, circumstances, and not individuals to have better learning. So we can learn out of the incidences. The important people are not important over here. Of course, they are important for me, but not for you. The learning is important for you. I also believe that when we involve and talk about the individuals, it leads to gossiping, which distracts us from our path and drains out our energy. So I'll keep myself focused on some incidences and I'll draw some learnings, whatever I learned. Of course, at that point in time, I did not learn. Now, when I'm reflecting back, I can connect the dots and I get the learning out of it. So it is said that every phase in our life bound to teach us something valuable, but it depends upon us whether we analyze the lessons or just turn the pages. So today I'm going to open the book of my entire life story in front of you. And we'll go by page, but we'll not just turn the page, but we'll try to find out if anything is learnable out of it. So this is actually started in 1968 when I was born. I was born in Pune. My maternal family is in Pune, near 23 kilometers away from Pune. There is a place called Khed Shivapur, and it is known for Chhatrapati Shivaji's birthplace also sometimes. Actually, his birthplace is basically Shivneri, but still it is known because of Shivaji Maharaj. Another very important thing happened was my parents, when they got married, my father came down to Mumbai for his job was there. He was serving in Bombay Telephones, and that time, now it is known as Mahanagar Nigam, but it was earlier Bombay Telephones. And he joined Bombay Telephones as a lineman. I think the young generation may not be knowing what is lineman because now all the cables are underground. A time was there when the poles were there and the wires used to be conducted from one place to another and to the exchange. So his job was to climb on the pole and correct if anything is wrong, repair it, or even go and install the telephones in the houses whenever there is a new connection, which is actually given to that particular person. So his life story is he was from a very big family, rich family. They were having acres of land, but due to the law which was enforced in 1948, they lost the entire land, and ultimately there were many communities like us. They came back, they came towards the urban or the cities, and they started doing job. Fortunately, the our community was believing in learning, studying, and at least my grandfather was SSC that time. He was 11 during the British Raj. So he got a job in Satara, which is a district in Maharashtra, and the family started doing well. But unfortunately, when my father was in 8th standard, he got an attack and he expired. So it was a tough time for my parents, my grandmother, to take care of the family because there was nobody who was earning. So my elder uncle, he joined army, and younger uncle who had just completed his diploma, he started a job in Cooper factory. However, my one of my relatives took my father. He adopted my father and took him along with him to Nasik. So 2 years my father studied over there. He did his SSC in a very difficult scenario. He was not having even money. That family was also not that rich, but they took care of my father. After his SSC, he could not do his diploma. He wanted to do his diploma, but financially it was not viable. So ultimately, he came down to Mumbai and searched for a job. He got a job in Bombay Telephones, as I told you, as a lineman. My mother, she studied her SSC, and then she did STC, which was that time a course for, B.Ed like course, and she became a teacher. But she was very, she had a growth mindset. She wanted to study further. She was teaching also, and she also simultaneously was pursuing her BA. But after marriage, my mother came down to Mumbai. After my birth, we started staying in one room. There was no kitchen, only one room in Malad, which was a stall. And somehow it was difficult, but my father and mother, both of them, they used to be happy in that condition also. And slowly, over the period of time, uh, my father could able to get a good one room kitchen and self-contained block in one of the chals in Borivali. So we were upgraded from one room and latrine outside to a self-contained block. And both of them, they were very happy. Over the period of time, I still remember it was 1971. And when the Pakistan, Bharat and Pakistan war was going on, my father used to take me on terrace and show me the tracers, which I can still remember. Yes. They used to guard the aerodrome to check whether any enemy flight is coming and attacking or. So I still remember those days. And then slowly I grew. In my entire lifestyle, if you see it, 1971 till 1991, I was in Mumbai. So I studied in Mumbai. I was admitted in school, and that too, I was admitted in a vernacular school, Marathi medium, because my parents were from Marathi medium. And two things were there. One, English medium would have been a little bit costlier for them. And second, they were not having any background. So they thought of admitting me in Marathi medium, and I joined that school. So the entire story, I moved from one place to another place, like from, Borivali 1971 up to 1991, 92, I moved to Pune. Again from Pune, I came back in 93 May to Borivali, that is Mumbai. Again from 94 August up to 2000 March, I was in Pune. And from there, once again, 2000 March, I was in Bombay. And then now in 2014, after staying there for 14 years almost, I'm in Bangalore for last 6 years. So this journey continued. Now I will explain how this journey took place. So this was the place where almost similar like place where there was a veranda, and this was a concrete building, although it was a chal, but a concrete building, and ground plus 2 floor. It was a 2-floored building, and there were 4 families on 1 floor. So it was an open thing. I mean, people were very transparent. There was nothing to be hidden, and people were very open that anytime everybody allowed to get into anybody's home. If I am having tea, fine, I will make tea for you also. Come sit and have a chat. I think we are missing that kind of atmosphere today. We have to take appointment when we want to meet somebody. And there were advantages, disadvantages. People used to fight. Of course, there used to be quarrel because of children. Children used to fight, and the mothers particularly, they used to come out, and in the veranda only there used to be big fight. But after 10 days, once again, you will see that both these women, they're sitting and sipping tea together and chatting about lot of gossiping is going to happen there. So this was really a fun. And there were children on the same floor. Few of them were with me in my school, in my class, and they were my best friends. And we enjoyed like anything. During the summer season, we used to sit in the veranda and used to play cards also. Sometimes carom and all. And it was fun, absolute fun. We enjoyed a life full of energy, and we socialized a lot. So this was typically a situation where people used to play cricket in the veranda. Some women they are chatting, a typical scenario which we can't see right now anywhere. In 1971, nobody will even imagine that there used to be only horse carriages to take the people from Borivali station to the other areas, because it was a village. Slowly in front of me, I saw how it has been evolved to us to current scenario, where it is parallel to the town, or we call at South Bombay. Because now in Borivali, a lot of malls are there, and all branded shops, they are there in Borivali. You name it and it is there. So change is only constant that we have experienced all the time. This is something which we call it as a Gram Devata, which is a Swambhu Ganpati of Waziranaka, where we used to stay nearby. And this Ganpati Mandir was exactly on the road from my home to my school. So every time we used to go and pray, and over the period of time, it was under a small tin, stand. Like it was a small temple. This was Swayambhu idol, which was actually, came out of the rock itself. And over the period of time, the people from Goregaon and Andheri, they started coming to pray this temple, in this temple, like Prabhadevi. So everything what today we got, everybody in Borivali so far, it is because of the blessings of Ganpati Bappa. Then I was admitted into school. The name was Suvidyalaya. It was at Waziranaka, and it was typically a ortho. I can't call it as a orthodox, but it was a typically traditional a school of which was uh, carrying all those traditional values and teaching it to the students. So what I learned over there, that basically when you see the humility is the foundation of all other virtues which we learned in my school, and they taught us a lot of things, starting from the stories of all saints, the warriors, and even the lot of subhashitas which are there from Sanskrit, and they used to tell us the meanings. And Bhagavad Gita was to be every class there used to be first session of chanting the shlokas of Bhagavad Gita. So that was the atmosphere where I grew. And that sorry yes, and that has really helped me to be humble, and to learn a lot of things in my life. The first school was like this initially, and there was nothing. The basic thing was only one blackboard, and the student used to sit down. Slowly it got developed, and it was built. Many parents, they paid donations, and they became the members. My father also became the member, and then this was the primary school which was there in front of you. These are all my teachers who taught me. I was a very energetic and very naughty boy. Along with my friends, I had done a lot of things, lot of mischiefs, but school was adamant on mana gadavi sanskar, wanted to do a lot of sanskar on us. But I that time I was literally so naughty that sanskar and all I was not aware of. I was a very studious guy, not that excellent, but I used to be always focused on studies. Whenever whenever the teacher asks any question, I was the first to raise my hands and answer it. And at the same time, a lot of mischief, a lot of naughty things I have done, and because of that I used to be always out also most of the time. There was one friend, like these two guys are standing outside. One of my friends and me, we used to do a lot of mischief in one of the class, history class. And the teacher had told us, once she got fed up of both of us, she told that both of you, because that particular class was in the middle and there were two doors. And one door was like this: when anybody is coming, walking towards the class, the students were sitting in front of the row, they were able to see the person coming. And me and my friend, we were sitting over there. So this lady teacher told, henceforth, when you see me coming towards class, ensure that both of you get lost from the other door and stand outside. So imagine for next 15 days we're standing outside, and the teacher also didn't bother, because that teacher wanted to see in unit test how much marks we are going to get. Fortunately, we were good students. We could able to study on our own, and we got good marks. And actually that teacher was she felt very bad. She said, you're such a good student, why you are actually trying to do all these nonsense? This is all mischief. Let the other student also study. So you know she told us that henceforth, please don't do any mischief. I still remember. And then we stopped doing mischief and we become pet of that teacher. So these things were happening. And when we were in 10th, typically in school you will find that there's a class teacher's room, and besides that there is a pantry, and in that pantry there's all tea and all they prepare over there. So sugar used to be kept over there. Our friends, they were very intelligent, they wanted to make a fun, so they add some salt in the sugar container. And next day, when our of the school assistant, he tried to prepare that that tea gets spoiled completely. And then uh, everybody was called and there was a parade, absolutely. But people were so friends and so strongly connected that nobody opened their mouth. So this was literally fun. Then there was another thing happened. Was one of my friend and me, we wanted to attend a class which was just started by one of our teacher who was a flute player, and he wanted, without taking any fees, he just wanted to teach. So 1 week later, actually, we went there. So meanwhile, whatever he had taught, we reached in the class, and the other students were playing flute on the notes which he had already taught to them. And when we entered, my friend said that now if we go, he will shout on us, why didn't you join in last week? So we just took two flutes which were kept in the bucket and started playing the flute without understanding the notes. So it was a complete noise. And ultimately the teacher got distracted because of the noise, asked everybody, stop, who are the new guys? You first come out. We came out, and he was so badly, his temper had gone out of control, he just drove us out. And that was a fun. We came out, instead of feeling bad, we were laughing that what the hell we have done. So the learning was, if you are not aware, please don't venture into it, just first learn and then do it. Second thing happened, me and my friend, there was some project, a craft project was given to us to prepare one notebook. For that, we actually bought all the A4 size papers, and we had prepared a sort of book, but cutting was required so that it will appear like exactly the book which generally we get from the general stores. So we went to a printing press to cut that in a equal size from all the sizes, all the sides. When we went there, the work had already done, and there were some pamphlets, they were piled up near the cutting machine. And since we were knowing that person, he was We used to call him uncle. We went and asked uncle, this is something which we want to do, to cut it very nicely from all sides. Can you please help us? So he said, okay, we'll help you. Uncle, how much it will cost? He said 50 paisa. Okay, we said fine. We gave him 50 paisa, and he started actually cutting those things, and it was a manual thing. So you have to actually, there's a big wheel which you have to move, and when you move, it takes a speed, a momentum, and because of that, the blade starts coming down. What happened when the momentum came and the blade was coming down at the same time? Unfortunately, my friends, he just unawarely is he pushed that particular the pamphlets which were kept it piled up over there, and the pamphlets in front of that owner, that uncle, they started moving down, and they were moving exactly towards the blade. He was not able to do anything, and that reaction of his was like, oh, oh my god, we don't know what to do. We kept quiet. He got angry because at least 25 to 30 pamphlets they got cut in that. It was actually west, absolutely, because now he had to once again ask his people to prepare that, it's manually they have to put the nails and prepare that format, and then they are supposed to uh, print it. So it is going to take another few hours. So he was spurt up, and then he would draw us away. He didn't bother to talk to us also, because he was so much spurt up. So these are certain incidences. We didn't do anything intentionally. There was no intention, but it happened like the Charlie Chaplin film. Charlie doesn't have any intention to do, but he does something, and something actually goes very wrong, drastically wrong. Same thing which we experienced over here, and we can't forget this, the expression of the uncle, and we felt very bad also, because it's ultimately it was a loss of that owner. These are some things which everybody has done in their life. We were also not different than this. So the small, we used to call it as a gully. So in that gully, there used to be a lot of dogs. And this dog which is sleeping in Diwali used to be the target. And the garland of the crackers used to be tied to his tail, and the firework starts. So that was very bad actually, because we were not aware about the pets and the PETA. But when we learned and we realized that no, animals are also living beings and we should take care of them. So what we did, it was absolutely wrong. It was fun for us, but it was torture for the animal. And the best thing in Diwali at 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock at night, whoever who is not giving donation for Ganesh Chaturthi or Janmashtami or Holi, they used to be always target, where at night these guys used to go and put the garland crackers or the atom bombs with the agarbatti, and they make it as a time bomb. And slowly, as the agarbatti starts burning, it comes to the end, and then it used to get blast. So they used to keep it exactly in front of the door or the walls compound, and at a time around 10 to 15 atom bombs, and they used to go by 1 o'clock. When the blast used to come, the people used to come out and they shout. So it was a fun for us, but it was actually not good. But this all we have done over the period of time. After 10th, I passed with distinction, and as the eagle, he comes out of its nets and starts soaring in the sky, or similar to a butterfly when it comes out of its cocoon, we joined the college, because we were very happy, because now in college there is no uniform. We can bunk, because we have heard a lot of things from our seniors that in college you can bunk the lecture. I bunked that lecture here. It was not good. Oh, fantastic. We were not able to bunk any class. So now in college we can do it. In college, we heard that there are cultural forums, there are NCC or NSS, and there are many activities, sports activities which are happening. There is an annual day. the singing competition. It was really, really a great enthusiasm by in which we actually joined this college. This is college which was in Andheri East, and it was MVLU college. Even today it is there. These are all my friends. Today also we are in touch, and everybody is well settled now. So in 11th went very well. Uh, 12th also we were enjoying, we were studying also. But all of a sudden in month of December, uh, the exam was in month of April, and in month of December, one of my cousin brother, who was suffering from, who was detected leukemia, and his parents took him to Mumbai and to admit him in Tata Hospital. So they came to us to our house, and from there uh, they were there for almost 15 to 20 days, but they were also serving though, so they had to go and join their job. So ultimately I was there, and he was very close to me. He was very handsome and very talented brother. He was doing his engineering. He was very intelligent. And when I heard this, I had seen the movies Anand and all, where I heard that this cannot be treated. But I was hopeful, and people said that yes, now there is a lot of advancement is happening, and so don't worry, we'll treat. So I used to be there with him for every week, whenever there used to, for the entire week in the hospital, whenever there used to be chemotherapy. And I've seen him. I used to be always with him. I've seen in the ward what is the terrific condition of the patients. There is no age, from small child to even old age, up to 80. There were patients. I've seen many patients, they were there, they were talking, and all of a sudden, next minute, they are expired. I tried my level best to be with my brother all the time. And although I was worried, I didn't show my worry to him, because I wanted him to be confident. I wanted him to face this situation confidently. I took him many times after this chemotherapy. We used to come back to home, and during sometime whenever we get time, I used to take him to show him movies also. So I still remember we had seen a movie, uh, eagle in snake in the eagle's shadow, or something like that, which I still remember. And the time went on. 3 chemotherapies, 4 chemotherapies, fifth chemotherapy. The radiation used to happen. He lost his hairs. Slowly, he was also losing his confidence. I was also getting into deeply in that thought, and probably the depression was setting in. And then he was asked by Tata Hospital to go back to his native place, and he went to his native place. I passed my exam. I still gave my exam in April. I passed my exam and I joined my first year BSc. And on my birthday, 24th July, uh, I got the news that my brother expired. And that was a shock to me. One side, it was all enthusiasm, a lot of energy, a lot of friends, a lot of different atmosphere. We were enjoying that those college days, but at the same time, I lost my beloved brother, and that sorrow was also there. And all the time, I started reflecting on Leon thing, the days which I spent with him in the hospital. I've seen many patients from other states. They were actually staying on the roads because they were not having money. So sad situation, which actually made me depressed. Now I am reflecting, and I'm feeling Yes, that was a depression, but that time I did not feel that, I did not understand that it is depression. But my friends were there and they were actually pulling me out of that depression continuously. So when these friends were there with me, some of them, they pulled me to join NCC. I joined NCC. I did parade. I attended the camps. I learned, the firing, also the kolo jodo. Within few minutes or rather seconds, you have to assemble. You have to remove all the parts of Sten gun or machine gun, and again within few seconds you have to join it. So all that I learned over there. I ran cross country also, but this was because of the outer motivation. There was no inner motivation. That depression set always there inside, and I was not knowing how to come out of that. But because of my friends, I did not move towards the bad things. They were there always with me. They were catching me. They were taking me along with them, and the days were going on. I also got a Best Actor award in one act play, and that was the moment where I felt that yes, I can do it. A stage fear was there, but when I did it, everything went off. I became more bold, and I started speaking out my mind. So, but this was again, it was not from my side. That was not inner inspiration. It was all outer. The people, they took me, they pulled me, and since I was consistent and confirming, I went into that. I didn't want to hurt anybody, so I just went through the flow, and I went on doing all these things. One day, I was sitting and watching a cricket match near my home, because that was basically a not a developed, we can say, as part of a city. It was still sort of village, and there were paddy fields, and in paddy fields we used to go and play cricket over there. So many people, many boys of my age, they were playing cricket, and I was sitting there and I was watching that cricket. But my attention was not there. And one of my uncles, to whom I used to see and we used to smile, exchange pleasantries, that uncle was passing through me. He saw me sitting there, but he realized that I was not actually attentive. He came to me, asked me, come over here, why you are not playing? I said, I don't feel like to play. Okay, what you were thinking? No, I don't know. I'm just sitting because they are playing. I don't want to play, but I want to be in people, so I'm sitting over here. So this, he said to me that just do one thing. Next day 8 o'clock, you come to meet me, come to my house. I went there. He actually was in a spiritual path, and he was a disciple of Swarupananda, who is his samadhi is there in Pavas near Ratnagiri. And he gave me some books to read. My guru gave me some books to read, and he gave me a rosary, or the prayer beads also. I asked him how much it costs. He said, no, it is kept for only people like you. So you go through, I'll tell you what you have to do. You do it, read these books, and start chanting the name of the God what you believe in every day, half an hour, and then next Sunday you come back again. So I went there. He asked me, how did you feel? I said, I feel better. Did you read the books? I said, yes. Tell me what is there in the book. When I started telling, I was very serious about the books. I studied them well. So I started telling the story in that. Story was of Santa Ganeshwara. He heard it and he said, sit. And he gave me Diksha. He said, now onwards, I am there to take care of you. The only thing is, you have to follow what I am telling you. So he gave me a mantra. Of course, this is not that mantra because I cannot tell you that mantra, which is a Guru mantra. So I cannot reveal it. He told me that you are free to do anything. I'm not restricting you to smoke, drink, or eat non-veg. Of course, we were vegetarians, so we were not eating non-veg. But sometimes I used to feel out of curiosity. Let me smoke for once. Why these people are drinking? Let me drink for once. Let me eat non-veg and see how it tastes. He said, I only insist you to chant this mantra when you are traveling or doing exercise or sitting idle. And he said, ensure when you woke up in the morning, pray the God, express gratitude to your parents, teachers, and the earth. That's all. You don't have to do no restrictions at all, but do it religiously. So if you trust me, you will do it. So I started doing it. He also suggested me few places to go and visit. So these are all places in Pune. So there is Devu Alandi, which is a Tukaram Maharaj Samadhi is there. Then there is Alandi, which is Naneshwar Maharaj Samadhi is there. There are many shrines like Shankar Maharaj Samadhi is there. These are all awliyas. These are all saints, and they are all spiritual gurus. So when I went there, I started feeling better. Day by day, I started feeling better. During summer vacations, I used to go to my village, which is nearby Pune. So whenever I got time, I visited these places. And then uh, I was graduated. BSc was done, and I started my first job in as a font developer at Bandra. It was a computer company, and they used to develop the fonts. So 3.5 years I worked over there, and I used to look at these sales executives in that particular organization. They used to look very smart, used to talk affluent English, and they were very confident. They used to go to meet all those traditional printing presses where desktop publishing was not yet started. They were not using it. So they used to convince them, and then the trainers used to be there. They used to go and they used to demonstrate them how this desktop publishing works. And ultimately, they used to back that order. That time in 92, that order used to be around 1.5 to 2 lakhs. It was a huge amount. So I was very much attracted towards sales executives and this profession. So I asked them, can I get a job, or can you give me an opportunity to work as a sales executive from my font development department to sales department? But they said, no, you have done just BSc chemistry, and we require people who know electronics and computers. So you are not aware about it. I said, you give me a chance, I will learn. But unfortunately, I didn't get any chance. And then I thought of finding out my own way, because when you are not able to do something what you want, I think it's important for you to find out another way. That's what the learning what I got at that point in time. I said that fine, then I will do what I can do, and I am eligible for. So my first job in pharmaceutical company, it was a second job, but first pharmaceutical company in July 92, up to 1993, I worked that tenure in one company. If you see the representatives, they used to look like this, and they used to have that leather bag. At that time, it used to be quite heavy. Around, if you put samples inside, it used to be almost 8 to 10 kg. And we used to travel just like that from one doctor to another doctor. And it was mandatory for us to complete 12 visits, 12 doctors to be visited in one day. Today's scenario, if you see, the representative looks like this, very smart. The bag has also been changed over the period of time. And see the difference between how these people are looking and this guy looks confident. So I was there, I learned a lot of things. This was basically in Pune, MR based at Pune. I was in Pune for 92 to 93. And my first Bajaj MAT Major 4S. Now, young generation might have not seen this vehicle, but this was the only affordable vehicle costing 16,800 rupees, which was shelled out by my father for me. I got the first vehicle out of compulsion. I had no passion about vehicle because I was knowing that I don't have money. My father also doesn't have money. But for job, it was required, and my father helped me out to get me the first vehicle in my life. So in pharma industry, in the sales manager, in sales, the manager is basically the company for a medical representative. That I learned, because when you work as a representative, when you are on field, your office is somewhere in Mumbai or Ahmedabad or Delhi. The manager is only the company for you. I learned most of the times employee leaves the managers and not company. I've seen bad managers and good managers also. That time, now the era has been changed, but that time there were some managers, they used to ask their representatives to go to market and bring vegetables, buy vegetables for them. They used to ask them to go and pay the bill or deposit the check of electricity. So all that work representatives have done. So those managers, and there were some professional managers. I was fortunate that I worked with the professional managers who were believing in dignity of the people. The people make or break an organization. So I've seen in front of me, there was a company where people, the way they behaved in the market, they completely spoiled the image and the entire organization. Of course, not across India, but at least in that market, they were banned, absolutely banned, because only because of their bad behavior. To inculcate the best practices, one should understand the difference between the long term best and the short term worst. Now, I've seen typically medical representative job is not that easy. You're moving, it is not monsoon, it is not summer, it is not winter. 20, 20, 20 all 12 months. Uh, it is not 8 hour duty. It is morning session, even sometimes afternoon session and evening session, maybe 10 to 12 hours in a day. The representative has to be on job. It's a tough job. So many people tend to move towards the short term or the easiest way to achieve their targets, whereas the people who take the another route of will do what is right and what is not easy, the long term best, they may face some challenges initially, but they grow step by step and they are consistent. Whereas the short term, I've seen the way they get destroyed, completely, you know, gone out of wiped from the market. And that's the learning what I got. And in the entire, and I was fortunate that I got the type of managers who were believing in ethics and hard work, integrity, all the values they were instilled. Of course, my spiritual guru has also instilled all those values, my school, my teachers, my friends. So that has really helped me to work. And it's important that not only it is important that you bring the business, but at the same time, how you bring the business and how you create the image of the organization in the market, that plays a very important. That's the responsibility on every salesperson. And salesperson doesn't mean only representative, but from starting from representative to the MD or CEO, and even the support functions who are actually sitting at office, they also are important to build the image of the organization. Also, in that first year itself, I learned that curiosity, learning inclination towards skills and building knowledge, and humility is the key to happiness. Because as you work hard and consistently and develop yourself and be competent, the entire journey becomes very joyful. I remember Dr. Rajan had said in one of his very nice session that he said that you work hard, so hard that when you come and start performing, you should just enjoy. There should not be any worry. There should not be any tension. Just enjoy the entire journey. 1993, my second job in pharma, which was in MNC. The first company which I joined was an Indian company, but it was also a big house. However, I got my second job in pharma, which was a MNC. Of course, it was a big MNC in European country, all entire Europe. But in India, they had just started it, so it was not that big. So in 1993, I joined this second company, second pharma MNC, and the office was at the TV Industrial Estate, Mumbai. This is the photo of all my colleagues. You can see there are some experts also. And still I am in touch with almost 60 to 70% my colleagues, and of course, uh, almost all my managers. This actually photo we had taken during the induction program at Bombay Central in Hotel Balwas. And then my life started. I was in software company in font department, sitting in one department for 8 hours in AC. And now it was completely different in Mumbai. At least in Pune, I was traveling on my bike, whereas over here, taking my bike to Andheri to Dadar was my area. It was quite difficult. So I chose to go by local. And I learned that your purpose is brings a passion, and the passion drives you. When you are passionate, you don't see the hurdles. So I can see that the people, those who are struggling for either, surviving or growing, they drive, there is an inner drive because of the passion, and they don't see any hurdles. There is a crowd, there's a huge crowd, but still they are hopeful and they're confident that they will enter and get their seat. Your passion makes you determined to achieve your goal, and you enjoy the process even in adversities. So these are the adversities. If you go and see in today, it is a pathetic situation. But if you are driven by goal, if you are determined, I think the adversities are nothing, the hurdles are nothing in front of you. If you want to become a big person, one need to dream, choose purpose, and Mumbai, that is Mumbai Ai, the goddess of Mumbai, which is basically a Gram Devta. The name of Mumbai itself is given because of that Mumba Devi temple. So we call its mother. So Mumbai Ai. So as has always blessed the person and said tathastu to him. So you can see many people who came from various states across the world, they came to Mumbai, and Mumbai has blessed them, and they are very big position, or they have achieved their dreams. Only thing is you need to have dream and you need to have right purpose. I want to tell you one incident which happened, and that actually helped me to be a better manager and a better human. It is said that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. So in this company, at this time only when we joined, we were just starting this company. So the number of people, the field force was quite low. And the product which we were going to launch was a research product. And this product was given for marketing to another two big companies in India. One was Indian company and one was a very big company, MNC. So there was a joint venture going on, and we were asked to invite certain doctors, a big top notches, to attend a roundtable conference so that they will learn about this particular molecule. So the responsibility was given to all the regional managers, and in the other companies, they were having a structure where representatives were reporting to area managers to regional manager. But since our company was very small, there was no layer in between, and area managers were not there. We were reporting to regional managers. So over there, an agreement was passed between these three companies that only regional managers and above will be attending this roundtable conference. They will be in the hall, and rest all they will move out of the hall. However, we have to support our manager. So manager assigned me to go and pick up two doctors who were invited for this event. So I went. At that time, the doctors were also, very down to earth. Today we are saying that which vehicle you are going to send is the question. That time, even in taxi also, doctors used to come. So I went with a Kalipili taxi, as normal. There were no AC taxis. I brought those doctors to the venue, and I came inside, and somebody from the other team, regional manager, saw me. I was there inside, and he was knowing pretty well that I am a representative looking at my age. And during afternoon session also, he had noticed me. So he came to my immediate boss, my regional manager, and told him that he is a representative, what he's doing inside, ask him to go out. So my boss said, okay, Rajan, please go out and sit there, take this cold drink, be there. I will join you and we'll go back home together in another half an hour once this roundtable conference starts. What happened? I went out, and our MD, managing director, he saw me inside, and he was, while talking to somebody, he missed me. And then he was looking for me, and he didn't find me. So he asked my manager, where is Rajan? He said, this incident has happened. He came out, he opened the door, he came out, he put his hand on my shoulder, smiling face. He said, come, Rajan, come. You are the regional manager till 12 o'clock tonight. He took me to the person who took objection and told him, Mr. So and so, I would like to introduce to you, he is our regional manager. I have just appointed him at 6 o'clock. Till 12 o'clock, midnight, he will be regional manager, and he is not going to go out. He is going to be with me. And I just cried. I just cried. That was something, the hallmark of a leader. Not, anybody who is looking down, your colleague or your whoever is your employee, you need to uplift his moral. And that I learned over there, and I'll never forget this. And that is why I behave in the same manner with even our office assistant. The same respect I'll give, what respect I give anybody else. And what happened? I got promoted in August 94 uh, as FLM, that is first line manager, as area manager based in Pune. So from Mumbai, again, as I told you, I moved to Pune. So covering Maharashtra from there. So once again, Pune Junction, running water never grows stale. So you just have to keep on flowing. And that is what I believe in, because people who follow the law of nature are always happy because they are continue to learn, and they are always fresh like water. I realized moving fresh with new opportunities is better than staying stale in one place. And I moved, and that really helped me. A new learning came in. And as you move in pharma or any field for that matter, if you get at one place, if you're not moving upward also in the same place, probably you need to check. You need to find out why, try your efforts, give yourself some time to move ahead. And if you feel that you're not able to, then just move from that comfort zone and join some other organization or some other field. I did very well. uh, I got many awards over there as a first line manager. Very importantly, the entire team was intact for all 6 years. The people didn't leave me, and that I feel that I was very proud of. They also learned. One of them got promoted and he took my place, and there was an emergency. One person left from Mumbai, area manager of Mumbai, and they wanted me to back since I was from Mumbai. So again, back to Mumbai as a first line manager. Actually, I was feeling very comfortable in Pune because everything was set, the business was coming, people were there, and the routine was set in. But I took the challenge because I was confirming and I was consistent. I can't say no. And I also thought that let me go back to Mumbai because Mumbai is a center, pharma hub. If you have a great experience over there, you have your future. So first line manager experience I had of Pune now, it was a blend of having another experience in Pune as a first line manager. So I started looking after the Western track in Mumbai. So you can stay at one place till you are growing either horizontally or vertically, as I told you. And as a challenge, it's always an opportunity which opens another door of opportunity for us to grow. So I took this challenge, um, thinking about the future, that yes, I may get a good opportunity. And same thing happened. Over the period of time, 1 year, in 2001, I got promoted as a second line manager looking after entire West region. So I got the success not because I accepted the challenges. I took risk. I improved my competence and my efforts. But there's equally tali ek haath se nahi bajti hai. There are other factors also. I have to due credit to these factors. The managers were great coach, their trainers and mentors. Best products we were having, research products. So there were a lot of material to talk and impress the doctors. We were having a conducive environment which was created by our MD. I just gave you an example, the kind of humility the person has shown. Company's training program, the selling skills, coaching skills, product training workshop, etc. And the company's policies. And finally, the growth mindset of our senior management, which actually percolated down. So they say that by nature, you are something, and by nurture also, you inculcate some traits. So by nature, I may not be that action oriented or risk taking, but because of the environment, I started taking the risk because the growth mindset was percolated from the senior manager to even at the lowest level. When mind is weak, situation is a problem. And I realized in this entire scenario, when mind is weak, situation is a problem. When mind is balanced, situation is challenge. And when mind is very strong, then situation becomes opportunity. And that is why Pradeep Shetty is actually working on mindset. So changing the mindset is the key. Employee stays with an organization, that I realized after becoming, a manager for first line manager for 7 years and then becoming second line managers. The the very certain important tips: great environment, first and foremost, respect, trust, and transparency for each and every individual at every position from top to bottom. New learnings, a lot of training programs and on the job training. The managers should be mentors, coaches. They should coach them on the job and should not be just thrashing the people, shouting on them, but helping them to reflect upon every call and finding out the short things in that call and improving upon them. Good managers, good products, opportunity to grow, and finally, last is monetary benefit. And I stick to this organization. I stuck to this organization because of all first five things. Monetary benefits were not that much till 2004, but after 2005, the market connection happened, and the salary, incentives, even the allowances, they started matching with the bigger multinational companies. So this is what I learned. And I believe that, yes, if you are good to people, the people will be good to you. Hardly one or two people will teach you, but it's okay. You can't change their nature. All these things, what I did and what I learned, there was a good learning from my home also. There were two philosophies. If this is my house, then there were two wheels, my mother and my father, and they were very complementary to each other. My mother used to always tell that it happens, whatever you want, it will happen if you take charge, initiative, and start doing it. Just do it. You need to put everything into action. Your thoughts are there, but ultimately, unless and until you put it into action, things are not going to happen. Whereas my father was having a different philosophy. He will always tell happiness should be allowed to remain indefinitely. It means the God, the way He had given, whatever He has given us, we should feel happy. We should feel happy in that. Let's not grumble about it, what we have deprived of. Let's not look at that, what we don't have. Just be happy in what we have. But both the things come together. If you see, you'll find that if you achieve something, some happiness, definitely there's nobody, nobody is, stopping you to aspire something else in your life. And then when you aspire it, you need to do it and achieve it. But at the same time, whatever you achieve, let's not compare it with anybody else. Just think what you have got and be happy in that. And that's what I learned. So basically, I feel that it's really, really very important. Rather than competing with other people, if I compete with myself, it's going to give me a lot of happiness. So I completed 11 years as a second line manager in the company. So from 2001 to 2012, I had received a lot of awards. I've been a good performer. I did good things, but somehow over the period of time got stagnant. The company used to project during annual business meetings that they have plans to come out with new products, new research products they will launch, the expansions will happen. But these were just dreams. But we believe, we trusted, and we stuck to the company. Company did not come out with a single research product since 2004. We expanded our field force to cover new geography, to build the brands and business by giving decent growth of 16% to 18% year on year with ethical sale. The management changed, the environment changed. The need of the hour of the new management was to prove ourselves again by achieving the desired goals. And the desired goals were more than 40% rise over the previous year, and without giving any inputs, without giving any marketing activities. I got to know from market that the company is at the verge of selling the primary care division, primary care product division, and was building its specialty division. As I felt very much stagnated and I was carrying out the responsibility as SLM for 11 years, felt strongly to do something new. The water was getting stale. And if I had stayed in the same situation without moving, without doing new thing and without learning new things, probably there was a high chance probability to get redundant. And once you get redundant in the industry, nobody is going to touch you. So third company I joined in 2012. So I worked as sales manager for West Zone from July to 2012 to 2014, covering West as well as North. Then I got an opportunity to NITI in training team in December 2014. Since December 2014, I am in I am in a sales training team. I did a lot of courses. I did Delhi ISTD course. I did ILA diploma, that is Indian Leadership Academy from Bangalore. Then I learned about IITD. I joined IITD and I was very much happy to learn a lot of things from IITD. Oscar Murphy, which is yet another learning organization from which I learned psychometric test, BAT 5 and BAT 6. Then I learned on learning also through Coursera and Udemy. And I continued reading books, and the life is continued. Although I'm working as a sales trainer, apart from functional trainings, as a selling skill workshop, apart from selling skill workshop, I also try to inspire the participants to become aware about self as well as the prerequisites of profession and the changing need through behavioral training. So that is also I've started doing. What to have an inward journey to explore our own potential. So this is what I felt strongly, and I'm propagating it to my participants who are attend the training. Just introspect the situation and introspect yourself. I think that is going to really help you to overcome that situation. I insist upon my field colleagues with my own examples to work on 5 pillars of our life: physical, that is materialistic; mind, that is emotional quotient; relationships, then intellect, intelligent quotient, social and spiritual quotient, and financial quotient. Last but not least, this spiritual guru, the way he put me on path, that actually led me today, and that helped me actually to live my life lively and the fullest. And it is important, if you live your life lively, you live it till you are passionate about it. And the second sentence is also very important, that if we are truly passionate about our life, I think we are passionate about everything, because everything in this nature is connected to us. There is no discrimination. You can't discriminate. You can just love and be passionate about everything. And when it will happen, it will only happen if the source of inspiration is there in your heart. So all of you will agree that the learning is very clear. You need to cross all the hurdles to climb the ladder, and all the failures. It is said that failure is just an incident or event. Make that event as a ladder, as a step of the ladder, by learning out of it how to win or how to be successful and climb the ladder towards success. So it's said that Thomas Edison has very clearly said that mindset, you can see, he said, I haven't failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. So this is a typically growth mindset. As I said, once again, I would like to reiterate, river water is fresh as long as it flows. On the other hand, still river rots and smells foul. Same in our life, as long as we move on, we are healthy and fresh. And in Sanskrit, all of you know that water is nothing but we call it as a jivan, and we call our life also as jivan. So let's live life as a river water, moving ahead. If any hurdle comes, water tries to find out its own way and go ahead. It doesn't stuck over there or doesn't get depressed. Fixed and growth mindset plays a very important role. Let's inculcate this growth mindset, and that will help all of us to grow. Embracing the challenges, persist despite obstacles, see efforts as path to mastery and learn from criticism, and get inspired by somebody else's success. The fixed mindset will get threatened, but the growth mindset will connect with that person, try to learn from him, because if he can do, why cannot? Why I can't? And that's the crux of the whole story. Growth mindset will lead you towards happiness. I don't say success because the definition of success of every individual is different. Pillars of life: to develop a personality which is magnetic, awesome, and charismatic, it is important for us to genuinely work upon few important aspects. The 5 pillars of our life. Every day we need to spend at least 10% of our life, and I'm doing it every day. Morning, I have my certain routine which I continue. Learning new things, yes, and working on continuously, consciously, on attitude, skill, and knowledge. Ask, ask either yourself or ask your colleagues when you really want to know something, and that is knowledge. And there are always 3 stages which I see in all, every tenure of my life, that there is stage of survival, there is a stage of sustenance, and there is a stage of growth. And this is going to repeat again as a cycle, just like your summer, monsoon, and winter. But like the representative, the one ruthless representative is ruthless to himself. He doesn't bother about rain, he doesn't bother about winter, he doesn't bother about summer. He just continues work. I still remember once in Mumbai, there was a huge rain going on. It was raining, and I went and met one doctor, a dermatologist from Malad. There were no patients, there were no representative because of the raining, heavy raining. And he saw me, he called me inside, And he asked me, how come you're there? There's so much, it's so much raining, it's pouring like anything. I said simply, sir, let the rain do his work, let me work, let me do my job, let the rain do his job. He was inspired, and that day I started getting his support to the fullest. So hard work, even today we say that there's a lot of corruption. It's not true. There are people who will support you for your hard work, for your genuinity. And one should, and that is what is called as a long term path. I think if we are on the long term path, the happiness is always there. And if you are happy, I think you are successful. Having said this, I'll just will have one activity which generally I'm doing it with all my colleagues, all my participants in my uh, organization. So you can unmute, and this is a film. There will be some dialogues in front of you, and you have to speak out those dialogues in a same manner, the way the actor had done it. Okay, I will give you hint. This film was released on 18th December 2015. It's a historical film, and Deepika Padukone and Ranbir had worked in this film. Can anybody tell me the name? Guess.
Padmavati.
Padmavat.
Padmavat.
Padmavati.
Padmavat was released in 2018. Yes, Bajirao Mastani. Absolutely. And this is the dialogue. Can anybody please deliver this dialogue the way Bajirao had delivered in this film?
चीते की चाल, बाज की नजर और बाजीराव की तलवार पर संदेह नहीं क्या करते, कभी भी मात दे सकती है.
Yes. So in IITD, it was taught to us that listen carefully. You can learn anything out of that. Now, what does it imply? What does it mean to you as a trainer?
Don't suspect your ability.
Yes.
You can do miracle.
Never doubt yourself. Yes, at any cost.
Yes. It's basically skill and knowledge. Of course, its confidence has come because of his skill and knowledge. He is telling upfront, चीते की चाल, बाज की नजर और बाजीराव की तलवार पर संदेह नहीं करते, कभी भी मात दे सकती है. Somebody else? This dialogue?
बाजीराव की रफ्तार ही बाजीराव की पहचान है.
Yes.
So
what does it mean?
I think the speed with which you act for anything, that shows your ability, your capability.
Yeah. That is the strength, right?
Strength.
That is the strength. But this is also, this has become over the period of time.
Host, if you can mute everybody.
Yeah. So over the period of time, this strength of Bajirao, because of his consistent efforts, has become his identity. Because he was known that he was so speed, he used to go and attack in such a speed that by the time he reaches, enemy is actually in his own world, is not prepared. Third one, anybody else. So it talks about the attitude. हर युद्ध का नतीजा तलवारों से नहीं होता है, तलवार से ज्यादा धार चलाने वाले की सोच में होनी चाहिए. Again, it's a attitude, it's a thought process. I actually love this character because it's a pure inspiration, because Bajirao fought 20 battles in his lifespan of 40 years only. He lived for 40 years. He fought 20 battles and he won all the battles. So it's a record. There is not any warrior who has done this. So I think these inspirations really helped us to go ahead. So thank you very much to all of you. And if you go sometimes to Mumbai and visit Borivali, I insist you to go and visit these places. There is a pagoda, there is a SL World, there is a Gorai Beach, there is a national Sanjay Gandhi Rashtriya Udyan, there is Kaneri Caves, and there is a Manpeshwar Caves. These are all ancient structures which you can visit. So thank you very much for attending this session. And these are my details to all of you.
Yeah, I request all of you to take a screenshot of this. So let it be on the screen just for 30 seconds. Everybody can just go ahead and please take a snapshot of this. It would be useful. And I request all of you to please connect with Rajan sir even later. Maybe if you need some help in selling or sales training or something like that, he would be the right person to guide all of us, including myself. I need to start that too. Thank you. Okay. So anything else
Thank
you
you.
want to share, Rajan sir, so that you can stop sharing and we can get you to the
Yeah.
main screen?
No, nothing. I don't want to share. I have actually taken, I think, 15 minutes more than the.
Yeah. You have taken 19 minutes more.
More.
That is fine. That is fine because it was really an amazing journey, very, very awesome. And you took me to Mumbai, to different places, Malad, even telling Malad and Borivali and all these things. It was real. Dadar, Pune. I stayed in Pune for 1.5, 2 years too. It was really amazing. Thank you very much. It was. I request all of you to give an applause to Rajan sir. It was really
Thank you
amazing.
so
You
much.
can unmute yourself, please. And thank you very much for such a great delivery, sir. Thank you. So not taking much time, I request the audience to please go ahead and ask few questions to Rajan sir. Anything you want to clarify or go ahead, please. Thank you.
Rajan sir, may I?
Yes.
Yeah, good evening, everybody, once again. First of all, thank you, Mr. Rajan. It was a wonderful session, and your stories made me once again realize that all of us might have the same time, but what time makes us face is always different for each one of us.
Yes.
So that's where the learning, as you had also said, learning, if you don't learn from your life instances or circumstances, doesn't make any point in you just moving ahead and ending your life by leaving the world. So thank you once again. Your journey has been really inspirational. There was a lot to learn from you. It will take a good amount of time to sit and again go through your journey and from our point of view, analyze it and learn more. So thank you, Mr. Rajan Brahme. We look forward to hear from you more sooner and as usual. Thank you so much, Mr. Rajan.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Rajan. You took me back to 70s Mumbai. I used to be in Fort Mumbai. I served nearly 2.5, 3 years there. So really, it was a journey backward to those days. Thank you, and your
Thank you, sir.
presentation was fantastic. You gave us a lot of insight to ponder upon and learn from you. Thank you very, very much.
Thanks a lot,
Gratitude.
sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And Rajan sir, yeah, we need to congratulate Narendra Naik sir. It is an marriage anniversary occasion for him. So it's really a great moment for us also, because Narendra Naik sir is a leader in ourselves over here. And I have a due respect to this great gentleman who has worked for the Indian Navy. And always, I keep telling, anytime I meet some few people, whenever that defense or anything comes, that word comes in, I always put a word about Narendra Naik sir, that I know a gentleman who is there and he's a guiding force to all of us, a life coach. And I keep sending them a message of his, always on the Facebook with short videos. And they also say it's really amazing, sir. In this age, he's so active. It's really amazing. So I request all of you to give an applause to Narendra Naik sir, a senior member in our
Sir,
IIT
happy
and a
Valentine's
guiding force
Day.
to all of us.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
happy
Thank you
wedding
very much, sir.
anniversary.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Anybody
I'm
else?
Mr. Pradeep, Mr. Pradeep,
Yes, sir.
actually, I feel happy for Mr. Rajan because he is not competing with the medical representatives of this day. all the information about the medicines are available on Google, and the representatives will have to do a hell of a lot of more job to convince the doctors to prescribe their medicine. I'm happy that Mr. Rajan did not have to go through that kind of torture. Yeah.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. Yes.
So
You
it
know,
is.
everything is there on the
Yeah.
thing. That's it.
Dr. Shivkumar, you have any questions for Rajan sir?
No, I'm very happy that I could listen to his journey. It is a very nice one. And I'm happy that he has now become a trainer for sales. We only teach, but he's actually doing practically. Good.
Yeah.
Thank you,
That's
sir.
practice. That's really nice. Any other question?
Uh, Sir, may I? This is Kalpana Asdavkar here.
Yes, madam.
Good evening, everyone. And I'm extremely grateful to Dr. Rajan sir for sharing such a wonderful life journey. And actually, I was taken aback. Hello.
Yes, madam.
I just remembered about my childhood because I was also staying in DIT Chawls. I think you may be knowing it, Parel, where
Yeah.
the Baba Sahib Ambedkar was the same like DIT Chawl number 1.
Yes.
But after that, my father, he was working in Central Railways, Parel workshop. So only for 3-4 years, being the youngest, I was over there. And then after that, I went to the Parel workshop colony. So thank you for sharing so much because I was also a notorious girl when I was young, small child. A lot of things are reminded. Thank you, sir, for sharing such a wonderful story. Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Hello, I'm Bhagwati. I'm audible.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Amazing journey, sir, and very inspiring. And I think so. Your spiritual life is very touching and amazing, amazing, amazing.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
I-
Anybody else before we
can-
conclude?
You can, if you have any tips and any suggestions for my improvement, please.
Oh, not at all.
No.
Actually, this is not a platform where you judge anybody or anything like that.
No,
it's
but-
only when, a lot of learning. One thing is that about the chawl, you said, I stayed in a chawl. I bought up in a chawl because my dad, he, got a house in Mumbai. Sometimes, I have I too will speak on the same occasion over here in Mindset Club. I've put it on my calendar in April 1st week or second week. We also stayed in a chawl pretty long time. I would say rather from 1975, from the time I was born to almost 2008 or 9, when we sold the properties and went to Binder, moved to Binder after my marriage. So you bought that, that smile, where even though my locality was totally a Christian locality, because I studied in a Christian school, St. Anthony's High School, Vakola. And it was really nice. I was just thinking about that when you were talking about Wazira Naka and everything, which I used to move later after going to Binder. And then you spoke about Pagoda.
Yeah.
Pagoda was just around 8 to 9 kilometers
Yeah.
from my place. From Binder,
Binder, yeah.
west, we have a direct bus to that place. But we used to travel by car, but it was really nice. We used to sit there, we used to enjoy. I still have that photos. So immediately after this, I'm going to search those photos with my daughter and everything, that pagoda inside, outside. Oh my God, so nice. Yeah, absolutely great. You took me to that spiritual zone, that smile, that vibration is still vibrating within me. So it was really amazing. So you touched my life. Another thing is that Mumbai local, when you showed that photos, I still remember because I used to work in Ville Parle in marketing for that glass and panels and everything. And I used to travel back from Binder. I used to go to Virar local, back I used to travel. And then I used to get down in Andheri and then catch a local to next, just one stop to Ville
Parle.
Parle. But by the time I used to reach Ville Parle, my nice dress, my shirt, it was totally wet. I used to carry my banyan, inner banyan, and one shirt also extra. And before I could meet my, the owner, she was a Kachi. I used to change it and then put a little bit of, perfume, scent, something like this and something. And then I used to go fresh. But while I come home, my wife used to say, because we did not have a washing machine also, we used to wash by hand. So how come you're giving me two clothes in one day? So we used to have a fight and everything. So it was also an amazing thing. So thank you very much for getting those great memories back, So thank you very much. Amazing session, sir. Thank you. Anything you want to say, sir, to all of us? Any
Thanks for
suggestion or
attending
anything
it
like
and
that?
giving me this platform. This really helps to improve upon your delivery. So thanks. I'm looking forward from everybody, their experiences and even new learning, because that helps to build yourself.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Rajan
Thanks,
sir.
sir.
It was really nice and amazing session, a heart-touching session, I would say, where you brought so many memories back, And I would say you can even forward this to your family members. They can listen to this
Will.
as Narendra Naik sir. We had a lot of family members from his family, coming to this platform and listening to him and giving so many of feedback and everything. It was really amazing. Even they said that they've never heard about these stories about his Indian Navy and various other things. So in the same way, I suppose if you just share this with any of your family members or very close friend, कहते हैं ना बचपन का दोस्त को भेजें, so he would also feel so nice, so great to listen to this. Wherein nowadays we don't have that bonding which you said,
Yeah.
na? Just like in chawl system, we used to go from one house to the other and have food here and breakfast there and dinner there. It used to happen because we did not have a TV ourselves, so we used to wander and it was really amazing time. So thanks for getting that amazing memories. I think I'm going to discuss with my wife also right now. So that days are really beautiful. So I hope all of you enjoyed a lot. So thank you very much from the Mindset Club for Success. But I think Dr. Shivakumar has something.
Who is the next speaker?
I'm sorry. The next speaker is still not decided. I'm just working on it. Maybe if you want to speak, you can. But I think Narendra sir has already said. Narendra sir, you would be, he said for first week of March. But can you do it next week, Narendra sir?
Yeah, I will do. I will.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would be great. And that would be amazing. And later, I think even Deepika madam has said if, she can
If
take up
somebody for the
that.
first time, if they want to do, for the first time somebody wants to do, you
Deepika
accommodate
madam,
them.
can we schedule yours next week or after that? Deepika madam?
Deepika, yeah.
I think she left.
I think she is away. No, I can see her. She's there.
Is
Maybe
there.
she's busy. No issues.
Okay.
So, Narendra sir, you can take up next week. Maybe after that, we already have Kalpana madam. I think
Okay.
if she can do it after next week, would that be okay, Kalpana madam? You are on mute. Kalpana ji, you are on mute. Yeah.
No, yeah.
That should be fine,
I
right?
can.
Okay. Thank you very much.
yeah, okay,
So
fine.
thank you all for spending this great moment. And I hope after this, whomever you love dearly and by heart, I request you to say a word that I love you, or give them a hug or anything. Send some message or something like that, where they will get that bonding, that happiness enriched within them. So thank you very much, and have a great day and a happy evening. And I really appreciate all of you joining this Sunday evening at this moment, which is a very, very precious moment in our life. In a week, this moment is really very precious. And from my heart, I really, thank all of you, sir. Okay. And
Thank
madam.
you so
Bye-bye.
much.
Thank you, Rajan
Bye.
sir. It was really
Thank you.
amazing, sir. Great day.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
Thank you everyone for your kind wishes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Narendra sir. Thank you very much.